We know that no matter what he does to it, firing it out of a regular howitzer at maximum zones, we know that it's going to survive and it will function.
There are 1,900 people that come to work at Picatinny every day. Most are scientists and engineers, the brains behind some of the most advanced weapons on Earth. But how do you channel their imaginations to come up with the products that actually meet the precise needs of the warfighter?
Not hard at all if you do this. If you have a presence forward, where you can look at how soldiers are using equipment that you're responsible for fielding or sustaining. You watch them use it, and then you talk to them after they use it, and you get their feedback and you make those improvements.
A number of Picatinny team members are in theater continually, monitoring the needs of service members in Iraq and Afghanistan, and taking what they've learned back to Picatinny. Their observations have paid dividends.
A while back, everyone knew about the prison riots in Iraq and in other places when folks that we have captured were rioting, and what they used to do is they used to bring their bedding and they would bring it to the center of the prison where they were being held, and then they would essentially build a castle in the center of the prison, and then it was hard for our soldiers to penetrate and get the prison riot under control.
The need was both urgent and unique, to build a protective vehicle that would make unruly detainees think twice. Picatinny's answer, the EM-113 Rapid Entry Vehicle, or REV-2.
This vehicle gives you all the protection of a normal armored personnel carrier.
But the similarities end there. REV-2 has windows of ballistic glass and a weapon system that packs a powerful punch, but not a lethal one.
There is a need for our soldiers from time to time to be able to use non-lethal technologies, to be able to deny the enemy certain parts or certain terrain, or to be able to enter into a situation and disperse a crowd.
Police pump shotgun that we've modified with the modified barrel and the pistol grip on the rear.
A former soldier himself, Picatinny gunsmith Kevin Adams understood the need for non-lethal capabilities. But putting such a weapon on the REV-2 was no easy task.
The recoil was actually ripping the guns apart because they weren't designed originally to be held at the muzzle and have all the recoil forces taken there. They were designed to have all the recoil forces at the rear and at the weapon, so everything would be compressed. With this design, we were actually pulling things apart. So we had to do a lot of reconfiguration of the weapon to make that work. That was a big challenge.
As was coming up with a way to clear the air inside the REV-2.
In firing in the enclosed space, the combustion products from firing the weapon would reach a toxic level. So we had to come up with a system that would work to protect our soldiers, and this was the hose system we came up with. Fits right on the system, like that. Still continuous range of motion. The soldiers, the sailors, the airmen, whoever is getting this weapon or ammunition, we know that we need to give them the best that we can give them. We want it to work right the first time.
And when the REV-2, with Kevin's guns on board, was fielded in Iraq just 4 months after its inception, it did work.
And in the last year or so, you haven't heard much about prison riots over there, because actually what they do is they exercise this equipment quite often. And the prisoners that are over there know that it exists.
The story behind the creation of the M113 is just one example of the way Picatinny scientists and engineers stay connected with warfighters and their needs. For Picatinny employee and Army reservist Wesley Martin, His personal experience with one young soldier, Army Sergeant Ryan Doltz, is a constant reminder of the importance of the work done here.
Ryan loved being a soldier. He was dedicated to anything he did. He believed in freedom and democracy, and he had a love for the United States, for America, and he thought it was a good fight, and he truly believed in it. We were sent in January of '04. We were a field artillery unit. It was supposed to be a simple mission to go and like a commo check. And what it ended up being was we had to go deep into Solder City and get one of our battalion assets back. And on the way back, our convoy was ambushed with IEDs.
Ryan and another soldier bore the brunt of the blast. His sacrifice will never be forgotten by his company commander, nor by anyone who sets foot on Picatinny Arsenal and passes Building 31.
It's aptly named in his memory. We chose to dedicate the building to a soldier, to a person that we all work for here, the soldier on the ground, in the mud or the sand. And it's very fitting to him. And it's sometimes comforting to know that everybody takes note of that building and what he did and who he was. But yeah, every time you drive by and you see the brass plate of him and you see his name over the door, you remember who he was and what he stood for.
What Ryan stood for is the same thing all of Picatinny Arsenal stands for. His story is a reminder of the bottom line at this place of creativity and ever-advancing technologies.
There are extraordinary patriots that are right here at Team Picatinny, right here in New Jersey and New York. I've come to greatly appreciate how much they value the sacrifice of our service members and their families. That's why we dedicate buildings to those that have fallen, have made the ultimate sacrifice in many cases. And we dedicate those buildings to them as a symbol of their service. But also, everyone who sees the name knows that someone has sacrificed greatly, and that when they walk through those hallways, they need to be focused on everything they can do to support our service members.
You can find the names of other fallen soldiers outside several buildings at Picatinny Arsenal. A constant reminder, for every advance that's made, there is always more that can be done to better arm and shield our men and women in uniform. I'm Master Sergeant Daniela Marcus, and this has been Recon.